had a bunch of people kind of reach out or like, hey, give me a shout. And I'm like,
yeah. Well, somebody resorted to using their dog, as you know, and they were their feline companion. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't vote, so it's just like, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Smart, but I was like, man, like, I would love to give you a shout out on the pod, but I don't think I'm allowed to. Like, I'm new. I'm the new guy here. Like, I want to be welcome back.
People are campaigning.
There's some serious campaigning going on. I know that for a fact.
Wow, we all look so incredibly different in behind us. Welcome to a special edition of the IBL Inside Pitch. Neil Srivastava, Braeden Ferrington, Mark Pare here with you. First of all, I got to address the elephant in the room, or should I say the elephant and everything else that's in everybody's room. It looks completely different to what we have seen in the past. Guys, where are you broadcasting from today on this special edition?
We're in the bunker. Bunker. That's the best way to put it. We're in the actual work office, so I had to block out some things behind me on the wall here. People don't need to see various numbers and pin pads and whatever else on the wall behind me here. So yeah,
that's fair.
Nice. Well, I'm in technically my office at London Source for Sports. As you can see behind me,
we got lots of merch.
These products aren't probably needed today because it's hot out there.
Yeah.
But if my boss does watch this, I'm not on the clock.
There we go. Well, as you can see behind me, completely different. I have actually made the move, and it's the reason why we're doing this on a Tuesday afternoon. Yes, folks, we're recording this on a Tuesday afternoon, so if there's no results from the Tuesday night game in Guelph, that's the reason. I am now in Guelph full-time.
Hey, here we go.
Everything looks good.
Go Royals.
Hey, don't let the London Majors hear you say that. Or any other team that you may have chosen as a possibility of,
I don't know.
Hey, I wouldn't mind playing for these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, fun time.
Well, speaking of teams in the Intercounty Baseball League, we have lots to get to here this week on this special edition. And let's just go right into the IBL Power Rankings of the week. Number 9 at the bottom yet again are the Kitchener Panthers. Yes, they got a win to salvage 2 of 3 against the Hamilton Cardinals, but Sunday, well, there's no two ways to say it. They got spanked. Plain and simple.
That's the best way to put it. It was a close game going, I think, after like the 5th or 6th inning, and then the bottom fell out. The pitching staff, or what was left of the pitching staff after 4 days and 4 games, it's hard, especially and on top of it, you factor in the heat on Sunday, which just absolutely was awful.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Looked at the box score and I was like, what happened here?
At one point, were they not leading 7-5? Like I thought I saw the update at one point. It was 7-5 for Kitchener, and I was just like, okay, maybe they might pull this one off here again.
Yeah, so we'll get to this part in the Guelph portion of it a little bit more, but for the second time in 2 days, the Guelph Royals gave up a 5-0 lead. Kitchener actually took a 6-5 lead. They were down 9-7, and apparently some guy ended up showing up in the ballpark later on just because he was done for his work for the afternoon, and yeah, I show up and Guelph decides, we're just going to put a 6 spot. We're going to put 5 spot on the board.
So it's your
Why
fault.
not?
So this is your fault.
I blame myself.
All your fault.
All your fault.
But Neil, obviously, earlier on in the week, besides the Guelph Royals taking on the Hamilton Cardinals, what did you see from the Kitchener Panthers in the games that you were able to take in?
They took the lead early. And it was just like, especially the Thursday night game, okay, they got a couple of runs across, but then Hamilton got back into it. Of course, as soon as their second at bat through and everything else, it was like, okay, Boone's on the hill. They seemed to settle down and everything else. They treated it like a Friday night game, but then Friday night, Kitchener was up 5-1 in the first couple of innings, and then it's just like, then we had a myriad of things go wrong. Hamilton ready to tie the game. We have Ray Brownlee leaving the baseball game after he broke his hand. I don't know if it's broke his hand, but I know he broke 2 fingers on his hand and everything else. We had a 45-minute delay, which we had to fill on the air because we can't go away anywhere. So, we filled for 45 minutes while the umpires got equipment changed and everything else. And then to Ray's credit, he popped up halfway through the next, like 2 innings later and said, yeah, I'm okay and everything else. Showed us the hand, but thankfully we didn't put on the air. But yeah, it's pretty banged up, and hopefully Ray will be back umpiring soon.
I got to mention Ray Brownlee is, of course, also the umpire that got ran into a couple weeks back by Jordan Mandalay. He's been taking a beating.
Poor guy's just been hit by everything possible here. But yes, great to see him back out there, and hopefully he'll be back soon as well. But yes, Kitchener is just, I don't know, the pitching staff seems to leave something to be desired. It just, that's not a shot. You got to shout out to Will McNeil for a great performance on Saturday's contest. He shut down the Cardinals. But yeah, it was just, other than that, it's been a lot of, okay, guys, like somebody's got to figure this out. Somebody's got to figure this out, or it's going to be figured out for them, and they're going to be off the roster.
Yeah, it's coming to that point where if you don't show up, on to the next.
Yeah.
So.
Plain and simple. I do have to give a shout out though to Saturdays, because Kitchener, it seems they love playing on Saturdays. They're 3-1 this season on Saturday games, including 2-0 at home. Mind you, both of those 2-0, those 2 games on Saturdays at home were rain out makeup games. So maybe it might be time to start thinking about putting games on Saturdays, it seems.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with Hamilton. They play great Friday nights at home. And it's just like Sundays, not so much. Sundays aren't so fun.
Well, let's move on now to the 8th team on the power rankings this week. Speaking of the Hamilton Cardinals, what do you guys say about the Hamilton Cardinals this week?
The offense is just, oh man, like I can't understand this offense. I just don't. It just seems like they've forgotten the fundamentals. They've forgotten basics. They've forgotten things. Guys are up there. They weren't chasing a lot in the first half of the season, but now it seems the chase rate has got to be higher. It's got to be a lot higher. They're chasing pitches out of the zone. Pitchers are finding ways to gets out there. Catchers like Junior Ibarra absolutely decimated that team during that 3-game series. He had guys pitched perfectly for most situations. When they needed an out, he found a way to get them out. Everything else moved behind the plate. So tip the old cap to Junior on this stuff, because he was outstanding as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah, if you would have told me at the start of the year that Hamilton is going to be number 8 on the power rankings,
no,
I probably would have laughed. Just seeing the talent that they have on paper, and it just hasn't come together, and this is why I play the games. I'm not too sure what the answer is. I don't know. Maybe some of their leadership group there just needs to put the team on their back and say, you know what, I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in this upcoming week. And I don't know. It's just puzzling for me.
Well, they don't have exactly an easy stretch. They have Toronto on Wednesday night. They have Welland Thursday, Friday. Saturday, I believe they're off, and then Sunday they have BARRIE. So it's not an easy stretch here either. So it's just, it's teams you have to beat if you want to make any movement in the playoffs, or up the standings, stuff like this. But you have to get back to the basics here. You got to get back to finding a way to score a run with a guy at third base and nobody out. Like that, it's frustrating. It's you got to stop trying to kill the baseball, and okay, maybe you take one for the team, push it down the first base side, or find a way to get on. Just move the chains here. Let somebody else in the line pick it up.
Team that's 4-6 on the season, just 60 runs for so far this year. The Hamilton Cardinals, last in the IBL in that step, by the way. It's a continuing trend. The offense just has not been there for them so far this season. But speaking of leadership, one transaction that was made today, July Vittini released by the Cards. Louis Bernardo signs onto the active roster. What do you make of that move?
And I think it was just, again, it's probably, it's not against Giulio Vittini and what he's been able to do defensively. It's the bat that really was the question mark here. And it's just like, well, they got to get some offense in this lineup somehow. And you can't really go and, you can't go dropping another import somewhere out here as far as this stuff goes. So it's just, now it's okay. Now your catchers are Bernardo and your catchers are Russell Young. So these two guys are going to have to share the load here. And Bernardo you could see him chomping at the bit as a third base coach. He gets the urges and everything else. But yeah, it's going to be. It's now the writing's on the wall, guys. Hey, we've made enough changes here. If something's still not working, there's going to be something wholesale going on.
Yeah, maybe this is the move that Hamilton needs. Like Luis is an established at bat, basically in this league. Like it's for me personally, like it's always been a tough out because he has the power, but you also know he has that contact rate. So maybe this is what Neil is. It's going to spark the group to go back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now down to number 7 this week. The Brantford Red Sox, losers of 3 straight ball games. Friday, Saturday, Sunday just did not go well for them, although the games against Guelph and London were actually quite close. A 7-6 loss to the London Majors, a 7-5 loss to the Guelph Royals, where, as I mentioned before, Guelph giving up a 5-0 lead. Brantford finding a way to claw back into that one. The Brantford Red Sox set a 2-8 record in the last 10 games. What do you guys make of them this week?
They just need some help in bullpen. They need somebody that can take the ball for 8 and 9 and say, you know what, I've got this. You guys keep the game close to this point. We'll get this. We'll figure this out. Like honestly, I thought for sure they were going to win Sunday. When they took the lead, it was like, you know what, they got a shot, and then it's just like, okay, and then London does London things these days. Like, I don't know how many is Roop feeding them all Lucky Charms or something, or whatever it is. It's just the 5-hour energy drinks just on a shot or something. But whatever it is, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, like I was watching that game on Sunday, and like I felt like a fan watching this game. Like they hit the home run with 1 out left to take the 1-run lead. And I was like, no way this is happening. Like, they had literally one pitch almost to get out of this ball game to lose. Then he hits it out. Mm-hmm. And then they go to the bottom half of that, and they found a way to lose the game.
Yeah.
Like, was it the pitching? I wouldn't say it was the pitching on that play.
No.
But it was just like, how did we overthrow a ball into the dugout to lose the game? I've never seen that.
That came to that weird ugly head in the Toronto game when they were up big going in the 9th inning too. It was just like they made wrong decisions on throws. They were some cases, guys, holding on to the baseball is not a bad thing.
No, it might be a good thing. Because honestly, 7 this week, okay, but say they didn't lose both those games, we're talking something probably different.
Yeah.
Because that was.
Well, this team. There's no reason this team should finish out of the playoff spot. I'm sorry. There's no reason. There's no reason. There's another team in this league right now that's just absolutely crapping the bed. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Of note, I do want to mention, you're looking for a closer or perhaps a late game situation kind of guy. The Brantford Red Sox making a move this week. They release the veteran Nick Burdett, and they sign the former Panther, the former Guelph Royal in Jorge De La Cruz. Could Jorge be the answer? Or at least a answer?
Won't hurt
He
him.
could definitely help. He wasn't seeing a lot of action in Kitchener, so it's just like, okay, maybe he can help. But again, it's just, I don't know. Like, is it just as far as, I don't know what the answer is right now. I think it's just collectively they have to realize, okay, later game situations, we have to focus up. Remember, maybe it's the coach yelling, hey, go back to Little League Worlds here, guys. Hey, plays at 1 or something. Freeze the line or something. Something's got to give on that.
Just don't throw the ball around. It's not a snowball fight. It's hot out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to graze over it and just say he's been released, though, but Nick Burdett, if that is the last we have seen him in a Brantford Red Sox uniform, what a career he has had in the Intercounty Baseball League. Perhaps maybe, he's off and then might reappear. But Nick Burdett, he's been around these parts for quite a long time, and I definitely want to make an extra note for him after getting his release from the Brantford Red Sox that he has had an absolutely excellent career. Winning a championship. I don't think he's got anything else left to prove. He's one of those
No, I
guys.
don't think so. No.
All right, up next, the Barrie Baycats. First, right off the top, signing Clayton Keys. That's a pretty big move if you're a Baycats fan. But you'll look at them this week, and they're at a 7-8 record so far on the season. They cooled off slightly this week. What do you guys make of Barrie?
They are going to be a little bit hurting. I know some guys that got some pretty injuries. I think I heard there's a season-ending injury out there too. I'm not gonna get into names or anything, but I think there's a season-ending injury out there too that I don't think been made public. I'm not going to be the guy to do that. So, but yeah, there's a hurt unit right now, and of course I had both Rio and Odd out of the lineup on the weekend because again it was Odd's bachelor's party. So that's not a fault against these guys. It's just hey, things happen as far as timing and everything else. It just happens to be as far as when everybody they can get all that gang together and go have a celebration for a good reason. So
It's
nothing
life.
to panic as far as that stuff goes. I thought they looked well, but it just again Sunday they just came out a little flat, and probably the heat doesn't help things, and an 11 o'clock start doesn't help things on top of that, especially after playing the night before till I think it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So by the time they get to the hotel, unwind and everything else, it's probably looking at 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then it's like, oh crap, because it's an 11 o'clock start, you're, having an early start to things. So 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, you're rustling around and just trying to get your faculties about yourself on a Sunday. So it's just not an easy turnaround. Not an easy turnaround.
Yeah, like I was there on Sunday. Hands down the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. And I know they were there probably around 9:30.
Yeah.
So there's a long day for them. And then even having Rio and Odd out, like they were in the first game until
sixth inning when
the sixth inning happened, and it is what it is. Obviously, you have to throw strikes to stay in games, and that clearly didn't happen. Yeah, I don't know. Like it was just they should have won that game. Like they hit the ball hard, but is a testament to their opponent Chatham. So they're on a roll. So, but with Barrie, you know what? I was around the ball. I was around their dugout, and like the vibes were good. The vibes were high. Everything was good. Nobody was down on them. Like it's just one of those days where it's like, oh, okay, well, this might not be our day, and on to the next. So, yeah, I can't really fault them, but it happens.
Absolutely. In our second half, we will touch on Braeden's trip to Chatham-Kent in a little bit more detail, so stay tuned after the break. But we still got a lot more power rankings to get to. But again, the Barrie Baycats, 6th in the IBL power rankings this week, a 7-8 record. To the Guelph Royals now, number 5 on the list this week. And, well, how about Garrett Takamatsu? 8 RBI, 2 home runs. And in fact, speaking of the long ball, 3 home runs against the Kitchener Panthers, matching what they had outputted for home runs all season long. Yes, just 3 home runs going into Sunday, 3 balls leaving the ballpark, including the third one from Liam Wilson, his first as a member of the Guelph Royals. The Royals heating up a little bit, particularly on that Sunday, and there is still something to be desired when it comes to giving up 5-0 leads, but at the end of the day, they come out with the victory.
Yep. I definitely think they listen to us. I definitely think they listen as far as everything else goes, because it's the guys, suddenly look at the veterans who stepped up in the last couple of days as far as the games and everything else to go. It was those guys that, the Takamatsus, the leaders, the Wilsons of the guys you're counting on to steer the ship here are taking the reins here and going, okay, yeah, enough's enough. Time to go on a run.
Yeah, like when I was looking at that box score, like I messaged you guys, I was like, who has the most single game RBIs in the IBL? Like Garrett with 8. I've never seen that. Like I thought it was like a
like I've seen Riley do. I think Riley had like 7, maybe 6 a couple of times. Like he had multiple home run games. I know he had a 4 home run game against Guelph when he was with Toronto. So he's had the revenge tour out there too. So it's just been like...
But yeah, it was just like, okay, like maybe they're alive. There's a heartbeat there. Like okay. I was for it. I was like, dang.
But I think it's, you know, they've got some question marks in the lineup still. They've got some guys that are, you know, they're going to be shifting away from certain elements here too. Once new guys arrive, once the reinforcements are here in July and everything else, and it's going to be like, okay, there's going to be a feeling out period. It's going to be okay, we got to gel again kind of period too. But I don't know. Like I think Jacob Cush. I have questions about Cush right now. I don't know if there's something up with his arm or whatever, but it just, the strikeouts don't seem to be as high. The velocity doesn't seem as it was last year. Everything else, something's off with him. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not going to blame the hair anymore because, you know, by the way, you look great. By the way, you look great. I saw the pictures on Instagram. You and the missus look great. So have fun with that. But yeah, it was just like, I don't know. It's just something seems off with him right now, and I'm not sure what it is.
What would it be, the longer layoff? Because keep in mind too, Cush on Saturday had not actually pitched in 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, exactly, and it's the Royals' schedule coming to bite them in the butt right now because everything is like they've got 2-3 games. They haven't had a 3-game week. They haven't had a 4-game week yet. It's going to come eventually in the schedule, and I'm not sure if their pitching staff's going to be ready to handle it.
Well, just the 2 games this past weekend, obviously that 7-5 victory over Brantford, and then the 22-7 shellacking of the Kitchener Panthers. The Guelph Royals coming in this week, a 6-9 record overall this season. They are number 5 on the power rankings this week. And how the mighty have suddenly fallen all the way down to 4th. Experts, 2 games have plummeted the Welland Jackfish from 1st in the power rankings to 4th. A 2-game losing skid for the Welland Jackfish. What's going on, guys?
Well, if you go to the votes that actually came in on the power rankings this week, somebody had them as 6th. So somebody was, you know, they definitely were cranking up, but it was interesting. Unanimously was the number 1 spot was Chatham-Kent. So it was just like, okay, they didn't look at standings. They looked more, okay, what happened this week? And they based it on that, which is, you know, it's what you kind of want them to, these power rankings to be. It's not supposed to be based on standings here, guys. It's supposed to be what happened on the field this week. And well,
yeah,
unfortunately, in Welland's case, everything else, yeah, they lost 2 ball games. 2 games, you know, in most days and everything else, they might have won. But things, you know, you can't take things away from Toronto. You can't take things away from London as well. You know, they both went out and they battled hard against the best team in the league.
Yeah, it's you know what, sometimes like I've been told this many years ago, but sometimes you need to fall to get back up.
Yeah.
So maybe this 2-game little, you know, trip might wake them up, and might be scary for the rest of the league, but you know what? It had to happen eventually. Like, it's something that you weren't going to win every game. That's just a fact. That's just, it is what it is.
Well, and you got guys coming in situations on the weekend because, again, Welland wasn't going to play again until Thursday night. Right. So it's just like, okay, Ben Abrams got to get an inning somewhere. Guys have to get innings somewhere. So it's just like he's coming into a position where he's not in a situation where he's not usually comfortable and everything else. I think he goes up 2-0 on Castaldo, and the next pitch is over the fence because he had to groove a fastball.
Yeah, and that's tough, you know, as a pitcher, that you, especially if you don't, I'm not gonna say like know the situation, but it's not your primary spot, exactly. Right? Like, everybody knows Ben Abrams as your workhorse or your workhorse starter. Like that's your guy. Like, he's gonna throw your innings, and he's gonna come back the next day and probably do the exact same. So yeah, you have to get him work. It is what it is. But is he that guy to come in after, say, throwing 6 innings of really good baseball, to come in and not throw, say, 1 inning? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, you know, there's some guys that can do it, some guys can't do it, but that's fine. Like, it's, again, he's in to get his work in, and then he'll be back as a starter his next start, and then he'll probably dominate because it's just how he is.
Oh, exactly. And you got Theodore Ortega matching Victor Payano Friday night, pitch for pitch almost, and that contest. And that was a great game to watch. I've watched most of it now, and like a couple times just for their highlights and whatever else, just to get some notes on. But it's like, those guys were battling. They were battling all the way over neck and neck. as far as that game goes.
And especially that London game, that one could have gone either way, honestly. Yeah. Like, can't fault really anybody. That's literally, I'm not gonna say as perfect as a ball game as you can get, but like as a fan, you're like, wow, this is awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got a good game. You want, and then on the flip side of it, it's like you have like your newer generation baseball people were like, oh, that was boring. There was no home runs. No, it's called a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, well, the pitcher's duel. It's one of those rare things that has happened once in a while in this league. So accept it as it is, and just put a star beside that one and say, I want to watch this one again.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Sometimes it's balls leaving the ballpark en masse. Sometimes it's just the pitcher shutting it down and the defense coming up big as well. The 2-1 loss against London in 10 innings, mind you, and of course Jordan Castaldo going el fuego on the Jackfish for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Hamilton Cardinals get the Welland Jackfish for the next 2 games. They might have to figure out their offense, because I think Welland's coming in losers of 3 of 4. They're coming in angry, to say the very least.
Well, I guess it's just going to be, okay, Hamilton's going to be lining up this rotation this week because they got to go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday again. So it's like, okay, which game do you slot Owen Boone here? Do you slot him in at Christie Pitts? Do you slot him in Friday night at home? So it's just like, okay, because I don't think he's going to pitch Thursday night in Welland, but he might, just because, I don't know, just to something else. But I don't know. I don't know what the plan and what the mindset is. I know when we were talking about it on the broadcast Sunday, we weren't sure then either. So it's just like, okay, you don't want to leave Boone out of his regular routine. He would be the next logical starter on Wednesday night, but again, it's also it's 1 day less rest as far as everything else goes, because he pitched Thursday in Kitchener. But I don't know. And of course, you got to mention Jake Sanford too. Congratulations to Jake on getting the call up to Ottawa and homering in his first contest back there too. So that was amazing. Great to see. And of course, he sent me a text message literally before he got on the plane. So, hey, thanks for everything. And really, Jake, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of the whole thing, right? I mean, this is kind of one of those leagues where you want to see that kind of step up. It's we had talked a couple of weeks ago about Welland and just how much depth these guys have, and scratching our heads, who. Why pick up somebody else? Why pick up this guy? Why pick up that guy? Well, that's the prime example right there, because when you are too good, teams in leagues like the Frontier League are going to recognize it, and they're going to pick those players up, and well, they're going to be on their merry way up into the Frontier League and beyond. So definitely a congratulations to Jake Sanford, and all the best to him. He definitely deserves it, the way he's trying to build back up into the pro ranks. That is for sure. The Toronto Maple Leafs coming up next. They're 10-7 on the year, a 4-game winning streak, including an 8-1 victory over the Hamilton Cardinals back on Sunday. What do you guys make of the Toronto Maple Leafs this week?
These guys are just, they're starting to come together, and I think they've got enough depth now as far as various positions and everything else. So, guys can take a night off and not feel like they're letting the team down. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see some guys, especially if the heat wave continues. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a couple of these guys, get a night off. Hey, don't come to the park tonight. We got this kind of nights.
Yeah, it's spicy out there. So, especially for the veteran guys, you've been there, done that. Have a nice day off, and then come back when it's not as hot.
Yeah, well, exactly. Because they Sunday, everything, of course, you sat in Brody Arbor, Brandon, as far as that dugout and everything else, it's a tin can.
Yeah.
It's just a tin sauna.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's just like, no, it's like, and the bullpen's no better. So it's just like the sun was beating down the whole time. I'm just like, I'm getting it off my face from the grandstands and everything else. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm losing weight just watching this dang game. So never mind anything else. But those guys battle it out there, and there's various pictures from Caps photography and everything else. The poor guys on the bench, I'm just like, they're just looking like they're not happy. They're dying. But they somehow, they found a way to just shift gears, get the bats going again, and they put in a very good effort on Sunday. A very good effort. Of course, you look at what they did Saturday night as well. So, another solid effort from these veteran guys and everything else. And the younger guys, you look at Kalo Shaw, you look at Juan Javier coming in here too, and it's just, having great seasons.
You look at the rest of the week. I mean, a 15-2 win over Brantford. Obviously, we touched on that 5-2 victory over the Welland Jackfish. The Toronto Maple Leafs. It seems like they've been sneaking up the standings, kind of under the radar, if you will, to put themselves
Yeah.
at 10-7 on the year. But good on them, and things are starting to wake up there at Christie Pitts for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who stand third as we record this in the IBL standings. So the London Majors, who are second in the standings and second in the power rankings, a 12-5 record on the season. They have won 2 straight ball games. The London Majors guys, what do you make of them this week?
That bullpen, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. They need something else. They need somebody else to come in through and just take some of this load off, because I'm worried somebody's going to be burnt out very shortly here, and it's going to get bad. Or somebody's going to get an injury here, and then it's going to go downhill. And that's not a shot against the guys who are out there. It's just, hey, there's a lot of going there. A lot is being asked of those guys right now.
Yeah, it's the bullpen it's a question mark for sure. I think I feel bad for Skyler right now. He's getting thrown out there every game. He's doing great, but how long can he do this for?
Well, exactly. I mean, how many more games can the offense bail out after he goes out there and unfortunately lack of tiredness? Well, on Sunday, I'm just going to say that was all heat, man. That was all heat. He was just the fact he went out there, like he went out Friday night, he looked like he was a drowned rat. Sunday, I can only imagine what was going through that guy's head after he came off the field.
Yeah, I can't even imagine it. I will say though, those Cobra Chicken uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Those things were nice. Those were nice. They were nice.
Those are nice.
Yeah. I can see it going on the wall at home, and maybe wearing it somewhere else, as long as it's not Hamilton, so I don't get yelled at. But
yeah. The design was definitely spot on for the occasion.
Well done. Shout out to the designers and everybody that put that all together. The London Majors second in the IBL power rankings this week. Obviously a 2-1 victory over Welland, that 7-6 win over the Brantford Red Sox. What more can they do to get into top spot in the IBL power rankings? They've only been tied for first so far this season. Well, we move on to number 1 in the power rankings this week. A big weekend against the Barrie Bay Cats in that 3-game series. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, they are on top of the mountain. They have climbed Everest. They are there. They are them. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, a 10-7 record on the season, an 8-2 stretch. They are as hot as the weather has been this week.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you got to start with Tuesday night. London comes into the ballpark, and they took it to them for the first time. They had to get the monkey off their back. They didn't beat London at all last year. They were 0-6 against the majors. So hats to you guys. Claps to you guys on finally breaking the goose egg at home and getting the job done. Because it was a total team effort on Tuesday, and then of course Barrie comes in. Of course, with Frank Garces on the hill, you almost have to just quietly write that one at the pencil. It's potential loss. Doesn't matter what the score is, but potential loss as far as with Garces on the hill, because Frank's not going to lose 3 in a row. He's just not.
No shot.
No. And then you go out there on Sunday, and it's like, okay, you take advantage of it. Probably a team that's not used to playing so early or playing in that heat either. So it's just like, okay, yeah, your guys were ready, and you took it to the Barrie Bay Cats in both games. That's flat out you did. You caught them on their heels in the first game, and in the second game, you just you dropped the hammer on them.
No, exactly. Like I know, like as I mentioned before, I was actually at that game. Brock though, he threw a gem in game 1 on Sunday.
Yeah, he did.
Like that was probably the best I've seen him pitch. Well, he was only around last year, but that's the best I've seen him pitch.
Based on the small sample size, it was probably the best game he's pitched. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? Kudos to Brock. I know he got pulled early. He got pulled like in the 5th, I believe.
Yeah.
And like I know he was questioning it. He was like, "Why are they pulling me now?"
But again,
I'm like,
"Hey Brock, you got to realize
it's hot out.
It's hot out here. Like, dude, we don't want you dying out here."
Yeah. It's like,
we
man,
want you to end on
just
a high note rather than, okay, I'm going to go back and go, wow, man, I really wish they wouldn't have pulled me after this thing or whatever,
yeah.
There's,
And honestly,
there's,
I will say that though, that was a great bullpen strategic move right there.
Yeah.
Because like you could have thrown him back out there and rolled the dice, see what he got left.
Yeah.
But you didn't. Great, because as a veteran team there, they're going to see this kid all of a sudden getting wild and due to the heat, and then all of a sudden he lays one down in the middle, and then it's just, it doesn't go well. But you know what? That was a great bullpen move.
That's
to get him out.
That's very, very a tip of the cap to Gil Rendon, and knowing he's got the pitching experience as a former pitcher and everything else. He knows, okay, my guy is not, I can probably get my guy out of here. He's probably not going to come out of here right now, but at the same time, it's the right place to do this.
100%. And even I would say, as a pitcher, you'd say, okay, I appreciate you doing that versus pleading to the manager.
Going out David Wells, throwing the baseball at the line or something.
Yeah.
Or throwing it to the center field. I'll let somebody else.
Oh man, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather see that, play the safe card than try to roll the risk there. And it's just
exactly.
It worked out very well on their end, and hey, I'll tip my cap to them. That was a well thought out Sunday for them.
Yeah, they have come a long way, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have. I still remember a few weeks back, we were starting to talk about them in the sense of, okay, Spencer Marcus, Sadler Goodwin, these are two guys that are, picking up the bats and they're hitting consistently. But, who else is going to step up for them? Well, insert Evan Morrison, insert Mitsuki Fukuda, Lee Kuchera, all three of them hitting above 350. I mean, Morrison's hitting 426 in 15 games.
Yeah.
The offense has come along a long way, and they are finding themselves in quite the summer heat. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, number 1 on the power rankings this week.
And I will say this. Say this though. It's not hitting the home run to the short porch.
No, it's not.
They are spraying the ball.
Yeah.
To all fields.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are, and they only hit 11 home runs all season as a team. I don't have the stat in front of me offhand, but it seems like that's a little bit on the lower end compared to some of the other teams in the IBL that are just hitting nukes over the fence.
Exactly. Yeah. And you got to keep this in the back of your mind too. Panda got released by the Lake Erie team last week, so he might be back. Be back.
I do have to mention one other transaction too, and we touched on Caden Cardoso getting called up, if you will, to the Ottawa Titans. I think he's sticking around there.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because it's when I'm hearing from other people, it's just like he might be back anytime. It's just a matter of he might be it might be a numbers game with him too, as far as Ottawa goes too, because it might just be okay. Somebody's back healthy now. It's like, okay, sorry, Caden, back down you go. He's not playing at first base right now. He's playing in the outfield for the Titans and everything else. Once they get one of their bigger bats, or maybe Ottawa decides, okay, maybe we can find someone. So, because right now we're almost at the draft day as far as Major League Baseball too. So a lot of these visas, they're only going to, the guys are the draft eligible guys are going to, okay, teams are going to be like, okay, we got to cut all X number of visas through our organizations, and okay, who can we let go here?
Yeah, and then even that trickle down effect happens. It's just, if you have minor league experience, you're probably gonna be slotted in to that role, and if you don't, probably gonna be slotted out. So it's gonna be interesting ride, especially going into the draft.
Yes, indeed. Who knew that the MLB draft could have implications on leagues like the Intercounty Baseball League as well. As we go to break, we're thinking about the All-Star game coming up in about a month's time. Voting has begun in the Intercounty Baseball League for the All-Star ballots. We'll have that. We'll have the player and pitcher of the week and so much more. Stay with us. This is the IBL Inside Pitch.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com, because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Welcome back to the IBL Inside Pitch. Mark, Neil, and Braeden here with you. The All-Star Game is coming up on July 20th, Sunday, July 20th at Bernie Arbor Stadium in Hamilton. You saw that commercial just now. Get your tickets now. But a big portion of that, a big storyline of that is we got to pick the players that are actually going to participate in that All-Star Game. Guys, voting has begun for the Intercounty Baseball League All-Star Game. What are some of the early some of the early feedback that you guys have been getting so far? And any players that you'd like to pitch out there to say, hey, probably should vote for this guy?
Don't put me in that spot. Oh man.
Like,
I'm just stuffing the ballot box. That's all I'm doing, guys.
Like,
Don't
I
do
would
that.
say, I'd say this year's voting process, it seems to be easier for the fans. That's the
what we
feedback
were
I've
hoping
been
for.
given.
That's what we were definitely hoping for. That's what we were
Yeah.
aiming for as far as everything else goes. And a couple of guys, it happens because some teams didn't check the rosters and everything else, didn't check the ballot last week like they were asked to. So a couple of guys were in the wrong spot. A couple of guys are left off. That wasn't intentional. It's just, hey, late at night, I'm trying to plug in numbers here and plug in names and something. Things happen as far as stuff goes. It just happens. It wasn't
100%.
intentional. It wasn't everything else. Those have been sorted out. So guys are on the ballots and everything else. But it's just like, and hopefully everybody's in the right spot. I know there's one guy that was not in the right spot when we put the ballot out, but it's kind of hard to fix now because it would just throw the balance off of that one category too. So it's just like, yeah, okay.
That's true.
Yeah. But next year when we do this, if we do this again, we'll definitely do a write-in ballot option too, because again, it's just not, it's not fair to the people that voted really early and realized, oh, so-and-so is not on the ballot. But it's like, okay, we got it fixed by 2:00, but by that time there was already like 4 people voting.
Yeah, it's pretty funny though. Like I've had a bunch of people kind of reach out or like, hey, give me a shout. And I'm like,
Yeah. Well, somebody resorted to using their dog, as and they were their feline companion. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't vote, so it's just like, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Smart, but I was like, man, like I would love to give you a shout out on the pod, but I don't think I'm allowed to. Like I'm new, I'm the new guy here. Like, I want to be welcome back.
Yeah.
People are campaigning.
There's some serious campaigning going on. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see more of it too, because once the first hit comes out, the first release comes out. I don't know if we're doing it Friday or we're going to wait to make people wait till Monday, but because of course, I believe Canada Day is like Tuesday or Wednesday too next week. So it's like, okay, yeah, we gotta, you gotta kind of get this in front of people and say, okay, this is where the ballot's at, and then it's like, okay, how do you campaign around it?
Yeah, just gotta be creative, as they say.
Yep.
Some people are better at it than others, but
it
is what it is.
Yeah, maybe some more dog videos, maybe some animation videos out there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then maybe that TikTok video where you have the person being let down, and they go to catch and they just kind of walk away and be like, "Well, I'm not. I let this guy down, but I'll tell you what's not a letdown: voting for me for the Intercounty Baseball League All-Star Game."
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? I want to give it, not say a challenge, but could be some homework for some of the players that watch this. I would love to see just some videos of campaigning.
Yeah, well, exactly. Hey,
put some effort in.
A vote for Pedro, a vote for Rio, something like that.
Yeah, but let's make it entertaining.
Yeah, let's have some fun with it.
Can't be lame.
Yeah, be lame as heck, and it might do well.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
it might put you in the conversation and get you up there in the votes.
Yeah,
exactly.
If somebody pulls off the Love Actually kind of, pretend it's Carol singing, and you have a bunch of placard cards or something, that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll need that as maybe a vote in a couple of weeks for homework. Who did the best campaign, whether it's the speech or just the creativity? We'll have to get different. We'll have to get different categories or something.
No, exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Well, moving on to the player and pitcher of the week. Yes, we're recording this on Tuesday to be released on Wednesday this week. So player and pitcher of the week are already known. But just for continuity's sake, Neil, who are the pitcher and player of the week?
You have to tip your cap to Jordan Castaldo, who just went absolutely on fuego, hotter than the weather. 556 average. His OPS was 2.298. So it was just like, it was ridiculous. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, and it was just, of course, you got to go. You just tip your cap to that stuff, and of course, we saw it firsthand on Sunday. I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting for him to look at the booth, up at the booth, and point at me when he hits the home run. I'm just waiting for it because, like, there's my entry for player of the week. As I'm walking right off the field, but that's fine. He didn't tip his cap or anything. That's fine. But yeah, he had a great week. And you tip your the honorable mentions were Jonah Weiser from the Welland Jackface. He had a great week. Home run and RBI. His OPS was huge. His average was huge. Garrett Takamatsu, as we mentioned, the 2 home runs, the 8 RBIs, and 500 average on the week. And of course, we tipped the cap as well at Tristan Clark of the Barrie Baycats, 556 on the week, 1 home run, 1 RBI. But yes, again, it was just like, yeah, great guys, great performances, but it was just, Mr. Castaldo was hard to look past.
Absolutely. And for the pitcher?
The pitcher of the week, no surprise, Victor Payano of the London Majors. He's a 6 innings pitch, no runs, 7 strikeouts. He was punching the baseball across and getting the punch outs when they needed to, giving the Majors a chance to win Friday night, and of course they did in extra innings. Theodore Ortega mashed him pretty much. He went 5 1/3, no home runs, 7 strikeouts as well. And then Owen McNeil and Owen Newman, Owen McNeil, of course, Kitchener Panthers, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts in that Saturday afternoon or Sunday evening game, against the Hamilton Cardinals, and then Owen Newman for the Guelph Royals, a couple of spot relief outings, 5 innings pitched, no runs. Just great, absolutely going out and doing what was asked of him out there on the mound.
Congratulations to them earning the honors this week. Well, we had the honor of sending Braeden Ferrington down to Chatham-Kent. Actually, we didn't send him. He did this on his own volition, and he gets to be a member of the media for a day. What was that experience like, being a representative of the IBL Inside Pitch and just being there in Chatham-Kent on Sunday?
Yeah, it was good. You know what? First and foremost, great hospitality by Chatham. You know what? Dom and Harry, they were great. I could pretty much do whatever I wanted in the whole stadium. It was great. Next time I just want to get like one of those like IBL media passes. That'd be cool. That's cool. Cool idea.
Neil, we need one of those.
You mean like this, and then pulled my card out? But yeah, Jenny's got mine in the car.
No, it was great. You know what? The whole staff there. You know, I even got on air. It was fantastic. You know, with Ed and I'm gonna mess up the other guy, so I'm not even gonna try. Mike. There we go. Yeah. They were welcoming and got on the air, and we talked a little bit about baseball, the podcast, my workplace. Yeah. Overall, it was a great experience. If the fans haven't been to Chatham, I probably suggest you do. Like it's one of those things where I think that was my first actual IBL game going to as a non-player. So it was just different vibes, different feel. It was still cool to be recognized. So I thought it was pretty awesome. But yeah, overall great experience. The hot dogs, I'd give it probably a 7.7 on the out of 10 rating.
Okay.
I also had it at 10:30 in the morning, but it's what it is.
Pulling the lowest lane and eating a hot dog before 11. Okay, there we go.
Well, yeah, it also wasn't like 47 degrees outside too, so I had to get it early.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a great experience. Glad I was able to do it. Hopefully visit more ballparks in the future. So pretty excited for what's to come. Put it that way.
And you get to see a couple of games against the Barrie Baycats, a back-to-back. You were going there just thinking, hey, I'm just going to get one, and then Mother Nature came calling, and they gave you a bonus.
Let's put it this way: my kneecaps are sweating, so that's a first. That's a first. Yeah. First and last.
We had to dig the fan out of the basement, bring it up to the press box up there on Sunday because it was just so hot, and like we know how the sun faces in at Bernie Arbor on a 2:00 start in the afternoon. So I knew I was gonna bake anyways, but it was just like, okay, my phone's shutting off, my laptop's shutting off because it's just too hot. Just like, okay, yeah, this is not good.
Yeah, honestly, like I will say this, like I was very impressed, not by like just like how the whole Chatham experience was, but how the players managed themselves during that, because obviously nobody can prepare, you know, on a checklist. Like this is how you're gonna do it on a day where it's 45 out. No shot. But the players, I feel like they weren't complaining about it.
No.
Well, at least like when I was around, maybe they were, but they went on like business as usual, and it was pretty cool to see that, especially as like a non-player. I'd be obviously with my, you know, hair, fair skin, plus that weather. Oh,
did Gil tell you what he called you?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
wow.
No, maybe he did, and I just didn't like put one and one together.
Because he's got nicknames for both of you guys, and then it's just and Neil.
Yeah, no. See, I probably didn't pick up on that because I was probably just too locked in on the game still, and you know, seeing pitch sequencing, and I'm still locked in like that. So
you have to ask Gil next time you talk to him.
Yeah, I'll be sure to do that one. But apparently, Josh Matlow has a shirt coming for me.
Oh,
okay.
Didn't specify what it was.
Yep.
But he wants me to wear it on air, so I'm kind of curious what it's going to be, and I don't know if I should be scared, but anything for the
I'm pretty
pod
sure I know what it is, so I'm not going to spoil it. So.
Oh no. I have no idea what it is.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
But I am looking at the Chatham-Kent schedule right now. They're playing in Kitchener on July 3rd, next Thursday night. I'm gonna ask Gil what he calls me. What's my nickname?
Yeah.
I will make sure I make a point of it.
After 7, I should expect the test matches.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be so funny.
Do I ask for a hint on what he calls me? Should I be flattered?
No, it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad.
Okay, good.
I just thought it was kind of cute. They both have nicknames, and then it's just Neil. It's just like
nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Maybe that'll be the intro for the pod post July 3rd. I'll get both nicknames, and I'll just introduce us as the nicknames and Neil.
And Neil. Let's do it. Do it.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the IBL Inside Pitch. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will be back on Tuesday next week. Not Wednesday, Tuesday, back to our regularly scheduled dates. I'm fully moved in at this point, although I think I lost about 20 pounds. But that's neither here nor there. Next Tuesday is the next episode drop. We'll see you then, and until then, stay cool. It's a hot one out there, folks. This has been another episode of the IBL Inside Pitch.